Today we are working Psalm 127. Psalm 127 is traditionally used to restore a child's health, to overcome rivalry, and to protect a newborn. Psalm 127 is also really good if you're trying to start a family, if you're trying to conceive. Today, I want to use Psalm 127 to either start a new business or to really be successful at your work. Psalm 127 is one of the Ascension Psalms. All of these Psalms in the Ascension Psalms collection are rather brief, but boy, they sure do have a lot in them. The way we work Psalm magic is very simple and effective. We take the Psalm that we're working and we speak it out loud all the way through as a recitation or an incantation. And then after we've finished that incantation, we go back through the Psalm and we consider the verses one at a time. And we dig for those magic seeds, which are the occult meanings behind the words. So sometimes they're very obvious and sometimes it's not so obvious and you really have to do some digging and reconsidering. But it's through this labor, this toil in the soil of our minds, that we're really planting those magic seeds deeply in there, where they take root, they grow, they blossom forth, and then they bear fruit after their kind. And that's exactly what you and I are going to do together right now with Psalm 127. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain. It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, for so he giveth his beloved sleep. Lo, children are an heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of the youth. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate. The starting of this is, except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. We are orienting today this psalm toward a business or work, career, job, something like that. So the house that we're talking about building is whatever that is. If you're starting an online business or something, that's your house. Except the Lord build the house, you labor in vain that build it. So who's the Lord? The Lord is that one force, that one source, that one substance in all the universe. It's not a personality. It's not an anthropomorphic deity. It is the force behind all that is. And you can think about all the different qualities of God. You can think about all the different qualities of the Spirit to get an idea. We go through those a lot, but we can just quickly go through them. Life, soul, spirit, intelligence, truth, love, law, presence. Those are qualities of the divine. Those qualities are the Lord. And the Lord, even though it's from a patriarchal language, it harkens back to something much older. And that's a pre-gender identity. It's before male and female. This is the infinite itself. Except that the infinite power build your business or build your work or do whatever your project is, your labor is in vain. Being a workaholic isn't going to help you, isn't going to make you successful. It may seem to temporarily in time, but you won't have the spiritual substance that lies under it that makes it successful on all levels. Because why do you want this thing? What do you want to build? Why do you want this job? Why do you want this business? Why do you want whatever it is that you're trying to build? It's so that you can be happy. It's so that you can contribute something to the world. It's so that you can have your needs met. It's so that you can have prosperity. All of those good things. And all of those things are things that infinite intelligence wants for you. So why wouldn't you allow infinite intelligence to build it? Why would you want to be autonomous from the infinite and say, I'm doing this myself and I'm just going to labor and labor and labor and work myself into the grave? Why would you want to do that when infinite intelligence already wants what you want for you? This is a reminder that the infinite will build it for you. And it doesn't really build it for you, it builds it with you. It's a co-creation. It's not like you're just going to sit around and eat bonbons and let God do it. It's that you and infinite intelligence are teaming up for something wonderful. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain. In the Ascension Psalms, the city is talking about the house of God. And in this sense, if your business isn't within the house of God, then it's not a real business. If it's not part of God's will, then it really doesn't have any power. So you want the Lord to keep the city, and you want your business to be within that, and therefore you don't need to protect it. It is protected, because it's saying the watchman waketh but in vain. You know how that is when you've worked really hard on something and all you do is try to protect it and you can't even enjoy it because you're always so worried about it. You don't need to worry about it when the infinite builds it with you because it's always protected. It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows. Vain. It's vain. Now, when you do something in vain, it has a double meaning. On one hand, it means that it's pointless. But on the second hand, the reason it's pointless is because it's arrogant. It's vanity to do that. It's vanity to think that working by the sweat of your brow alone and being a workaholic so that you can build this thing is going to make you successful. And if we work hard enough, we can be bigger than God. If we work hard enough, I can do it all by myself. It's got to be me, 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 me. And that's vanity. And it also makes you very unhappy because all you are is tired all the time. All you do is work, 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 and there's no reward because it's all for you. But if the infinite is building it with you, you don't need to work like that. And when you appear to work like that from the outside, when people that don't know what's going on, they look at you, they think, whoa, boy, all they do is work. But when you're doing it with the infinite, it's not work at all. It's so much fun. It's the only thing you want to do. And it's so much fun. And you love it so much. And there is no rising up early and sitting up late and eating the bread of sorrows. There is none of that toil on that level. It may appear that way to somebody that doesn't understand, but it's not that way at all. Because all you are is refreshed and rejuvenated and rested and happy and enthused because of what you're doing. And it says, for so he giveth his beloved sleep. Not only during your waking hours when you're working, but while you're sleeping, infinite intelligence is working. Infinite intelligence doesn't need to rest, but you do. Infinite intelligence doesn't need to go in cycles, but you do. When you and the infinite are working together on whatever this is, you can go to sleep. You can take breaks. You can enjoy your life, and it still is working for you. It's all working. It's like infinite intelligence gives you this autopilot experience so that you don't feel bad when you take time off. You don't feel bad when you go to sleep at night. You don't feel bad when you take things easily and slowly and gently and you take care of yourself. But you're still much more successful at whatever you're doing than if you were working yourself to the bone. And it's funny because on one hand, people that notice you while you're doing all of this may misinterpret and say, wow, all they do is work, when they don't realize that you're not working at all. It's just easy and fun. And on the other hand, Some people might notice you not doing so much and might get very upset and jealous. How come you get all of this success and you don't even seem to work that hard? I had that happen to me. Well, it wasn't quite that, but it was similar. We had that economic downturn and so many people were suffering. And I had a client come in and they said, "How are you doing?" I said, "I am so busy. I've got more work than I can handle." And he got so mad. He said, "How is that even possible? Everybody else is suffering. How come you're not suffering? Of all people, you should be suffering the most." But infinite intelligence and I were building this together. Lo, children are an heritage of the Lord. Our children is what we're creating. The different aspects of this business or this project or this work, this painting, whatever it is that you're working on, that you're bringing to this psalm, that's your children. All aspects of this thing are your children. And the fruit of the womb is his reward. So the fruit of the womb is the goddess, and she's giving birth to all of this wonderful success of yours, whatever these creations are. Those are your children. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of the youth. So it's equating these children of yours as arrows. This was a warring culture. If you have a full quiver of arrows, you are ready for whatever you need. And so this is a very positive reinforcement for this old culture, that all of those children, all of those manifestations, all of these projects, all of these wonderful things that you're building are like arrows. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. Happiness is your goal, and happiness is the infinite's goal for you because you have your quiver full of these arrows. In other words, you have all of the success you desire through this thing. Your success is assured. There's no question that since at the onset it started with, "Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it." So since the Lord is building this with you, whatever this is, your quiver is full of those arrows, and happiness is a given. Happiness is a given. And it's also reminding you not to wait to be happy like the workaholic would do. The workaholic always puts happiness on the back burner and works, and then they die from exhaustion before they ever get to enjoy it. It's telling you, don't do that. Start with happiness now. Have joy and happiness in the midst of the process itself. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate. So who are the enemies in the gate? Every doubt in your mind, every person that doesn't think that you'll ever make it, every person that ever told you that you'll never make it, every part of your mind that thinks it's stupid for you to try whatever this is, or that you shouldn't even build like that, you should go and get a real job or whatever. Those are the enemies in the gate. And your quivers are full of arrows, which are the infinite's will for your success. So you don't need to be ashamed. You don't need to feel bad about wanting this thing. You don't have to worry about the enemies at the gate. All you have to do is remind yourself that your success is assured because infinite intelligence and you are building it together. And the infinite wants you to be successful, wants you to be happy. And the thing that you're doing that's important to you, since it's so important to you, that means that the infinite put that desire there to begin with so that you could be happy, that you could do the thing that you want to do. Think in terms of what your soul is. It's such a unique expression of the divine. It's such a unique expression that nobody's like you. And if you're really shining like yourself, whatever your desires are in regards to work and projects and careers and jobs and all of those things, whatever you bring into this psalm, those are there for you to enjoy. They're there for you to shine forth. They're your gift to the world. And your success is absolutely assured because you and the infinite are building it together. And so your happiness is the infinite's primary objective in all of this. And all of those different parts of the project, all of those different areas, which are these arrows, are there as a gift to you from the infinite. And so you don't have to worry about all of those doubts in your mind. You don't have to worry about the doubting people or the statistics or the economy or anything else. You don't have to worry about what anybody around you is doing or saying. Your success is assured, and that's all there is to it. So you can speak with those enemies at the gate because you don't have anything to fear. They can't get in. They can't harm you because you and the infinite are working together on this. And your success is the infinite's priority. And since it's the infinite's priority, all you have to do is accept it. You do your part, and the infinite will never fail to do its part. So you just keep coming back to this psalm again and again until you get that sense of certainty and peace that your goal or your objective is being taken care of. You'll get a sense that it's set or that it's taken. You'll get that understanding and that peace that it's a certainty, and then you don't have to work on it anymore and you can move on to something else. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Until next time, blessed be.